So it's the morning after the night before, and we're talking about Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Okay, so let's get into it. Yeah, so I hear some of you saying, well, what's all this then, Raf? What's the Matador and the Bull got to do with Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois? Okay, well, when I started boxing, it wasn't really about brawn. The guys who influenced me, they were the artists, those with the matadors of the game, those who would lure you in, trick you, let you feel there was going one left, and then they'd go right. They were artists. They were artists of the game. One example of that is one of my early influences after the likes of Sugar Ray Leonard, the Sugar Ray Robinsons, who I learned Sugar Ray emulated, looked up to, aspired to be like. This is Harold Graham. All aficionados of the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio would have heard of me speak of him before, fighting out of the Winklebank Gym in Sheffield. He came with that style. They developed that style, but he came with that style to the Winklebank Gym. Yeah, here you see him with Rod Douglas. They were both heavyweight at the time, and in 1989, I believe, they met at Wembley. The Winklebank Gym, you just saw little Prince Nassim Hamed there, who never really gave Harold Graham the credit, considering that Nassim Hamed got his style from Harold Graham. But anyway, they met in 1989 at Wembley Arena. Long story short, Harold Graham with his style, hit and not be hit. They used to go to pubs in the area. Brendan Ingle would have them tour pubs and whatnot, working men's clubs, and say, anybody touch him can get a tenner. You got to put a tenner in the bucket to have a go. You get in there for 3 minutes with him, and if you touch him, you get 20. Yeah, of course, nobody touched him. But when he went in there, there's little Nassim Hamed there, the ungrateful child. When he got in there with Rod Douglas, he ended up, long story short, he put Rod Douglas in a coma. Rod Douglas was in the hospital fighting for his life-changing injuries. He pulled through it, but he would never box again. And so now we talk about last night. You see, those guys from the Ukraine, they fell in love with the likes of your Sugar Ray Robinsons, your Sugar Ray Leonards, and then latterly they studied the likes of your Roy Joneses, and they really studied it because it wasn't that kind of movement wasn't natural to them over there in the Caucasus mountainous region. Yeah, so it wasn't natural to them; it was supernatural. But they studied. They got the sports scientists on it. They got the sports psychologists involved, and they really and truly applied themselves to learn the science behind that kind of movement of your Sugar Ray Robinsons, your Sugar Ray Leonards, your Roy Joneses. They studied themselves, they applied themselves, and in the words of an old nighttime TV entertainer, what can I say? Well, didn't he do well? Didn't he do well? We're talking about Usyk. But he can't go wrong. Things can go wrong, as we see here. He's a matador, but he can't go wrong, so don't get the feeling that the matador cannot get gored. It takes a wrong move from the matador and a right move from the bull. That's all it takes. One wrong move from the matador and one right move from the bull, and the matador ends up upside down and ran through, gored. So I don't want any but simpletons to think that it can't be done. It can be done, and it does get done. Okay? So we just have to bear that in mind. But we have to give credit where credit is due. Didn't he do well? Didn't he do well? Congratulations to the fella. He's been a very good student of the game. 3 cheers to the fella. Give it up to the fella. Congratulations to the fella. And but yeah, it gets to a stage now where one thinks to oneself, well, yeah, I mean, I didn't want him to win. I wanted Daniel Dubois to win, but it was not to be. Alexander Usyk and his team that did the job. Daniel Dubois has got a young son over there in Brazil, so he's got things to occupy him. He should fly out to Brazil and go and get some rest and recuperation and rethink things. He wasn't up to the job, but Alexander Usyk was. Okay, what can I say? We got through it like about the 5th or 6th time. Yeah, congratulations to Alexander Usyk. Commiserations to Daniel Dynamite Dubois.